Every serious sewist and quilter needs a rotary cutter. And today we're going to be going through the OLFA 45mm. It is my favorite. I'm going to walk you through its features, show you how it performs on different fabrics, and compare it to other rotary cutters I have used. By the end of this video, you'll know if it's the right cutter for your sewing kit. Hi, I'm Christina, and I love to digitally draft patterns, creating unique pieces of wearable art. And once those patterns are digitally drafted, you need a way to cut them out. Come in a rotary cutter. Let's take a look at why this rotary cutter has been a staple for sewing and quilting for years. This cutter features a 45mm blade, which is one of the most popular sizes. It's big enough to cut through multiple layers, but still precise for detailed work. The blade itself is made of tungsten carbonate steel, which means it stays sharp longer and can give you a clean, smooth cut every time. One of my favorite things about this cutter is the built-in blade cover. When you are not using it, you can slide the cover over the blade to prevent accidents, and it is a must-have feature, especially if you have kids or pets around. Another thing that stands out about this is the handle design. It's comfortable to hold for long cutting sessions, and what's great is it's designed for both right and left-handed users. So no matter what your dominant hand is, you can use this cutting tool with ease. Next, we're going to talk about changing the blade. It is super easy. It's just a screw right here, and then it just pops right off and you can put on a new blade. Careful when you're putting on those new blades because they will be sharp. Another great thing about this brand is that it offers different blade sizes. So if you need something a little bit bigger or smaller, there are options out there. It goes up to a 60mm and then down to a 28 and even an 18mm blade. Now, I can't fully go through a video like this without talking about the pros and cons of the rotary cutter. No tool is perfect, but this one has a lot going for it. So I'm going to start with the pros. The first thing is how fast and precise you can cut. One of the biggest advantages is how quickly and precisely it cuts. The rolling blade glides smoothly over the fabric, making straight cuts effortless, perfect for quilting, pattern cutting, and craft projects. The next thing is how sharp and how long-lasting the blade is. The tungsten carbonate steel blade stays sharp for a very long time, and it cuts through multiple layers of fabric easily. It can even handle heavier like pleathers and even some leathers with a blade. I also absolutely love the handle. The handle is comfort to hold even in long cutting sessions, and some rotary cutters have a button that you accidentally press when you're cutting, but this one doesn't, which makes it so much easier. The blade is always out, and I can have a nice, good, firm pressure with stacked joints. I also love how easy the blade replacement is. Changing the blade is quick and simple, and unlike some other cutters, which are complicated release mechanisms, this one is straightforward swap out when needed. I also love that this is designed for both left and right hand users, so anyone can use it comfortably without needing a separate model. And finally, it comes in different sizes. So if the 45 size isn't quite right for you, you can definitely get it in the 60, the 28, or the 18, like I mentioned earlier. Now, as much as we love this rotary cutter, there are a few things to keep in mind. So now we have to move on to the cons. The first is it doesn't replace scissors. While it's great for straight and curves and cuts, there are still some sewing projects that you are going to need those scissors, especially for intricate cuts or cutting tight spaces. Another one is that it does require a cutting mat. To use those rotary cutters, you need a self-healing cutting mat. Without one, you will damage your table and make your blade dull really fast, as well as probably cut anything else that's under it. Another thing is the blades do dull, and you can't resharpen them. So like scissors, you can always get resharpened. Blades, you just have to replace. So that's a pro and a con. The next is the safety precautions. Since you're basically using a rolling razor blade, you do have to be careful about where you are rolling. You don't want to nick your finger, roll over your finger, anything like that. So that's something you always have to be aware of. So while the rotary cutter has a few minor downsides, the pros definitely outweigh the cons for me. This is one of those sewing tools that makes cutting fabric faster and easier and more precise. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced sewist, having a rotary cutter in your toolkit can save you a lot of time and effort, especially on larger projects. So I would love to know, do you already have a rotary cutter or are you thinking about getting one? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe so you can see other sewing tool reviews as well as some digital pattern making. I look forward to seeing you in some of my other videos. Happy patterning!